Johnson, Michael Saradimi, Brian Johnston, Shane McKellar in the centre playing a number 6, Philip Graham, Robert Finch at 5'8", number 4, Steve Morris, Graham Buckley, Graham Wynn, Rod Reddy, Craig Young, captain, John Dowling and Mark Hughes, Stephen Folkes, Graham Hughes, Jeff Robinson, George Paponis, captain, John Coveney, coach Ted Glossop. It's the first scrum of the match. John Dowling's statistic at this point, scrums won 152 from 287. That's a success rate of 53%. Again, says Hartley. A little bit of wacky going in there. Coveney and his opposite number. The touch judges are in, or one is. Oh, Finch did marvellously to take that. Oh, and he's lobbed it out to Johnson. Long floating pass out there to Graham. Graham's going hard to the sideline. The defence is there. He's going to score. No! In a touch. About a yard from the line. The touch judge had to go back onto the field and then back off the field. Now the defence too good. Third scrum of the match. We've had one result. There's a win to Paponis for Canterbury. Harry Hughes. Lovely pass to Cutler. He's got himself into a gap, running nicely. Turns it back inside to Chris Mortimer. Mortimer's got support. There should be a try. Oh, good defence. Rocket ready. Great defence by the big Australian forward. No lack of effort there. Had to cover a lot of ground to get to that one. Canterbury on the ball. Steve Mortimer. Robinson. Tearing straight ahead. Oh, he had Gary Hughes on the outside. Couldn't release his arms. Robinson. Paponis. Steve Mortimer. Mark Hughes. 8 metres away. St George. Temporarily under pressure. Steve Mortimer. Gary Hughes. Steve Mortimer. Quick hands. The pass has been knocked down. It'll be 6 to go. It is. Robinson's got it. Watch him wind up. Straight into Craig Young, and oh, he doesn't know anything but overdrive, this fella. Barry Rossi couldn't last for a long career, this Robinson, the way he runs. He must be built of iron.
Well, the Canterbury boys think so, and they rely on a lot of those runs from him, and he keeps coming up with them every game.
Graham Hughes trying his footwork. Folks at dummy half. Steve Mortimer, Gary Hughes, Mark Hughes with him, brother. The tackle from Finch in number 4, effective. Chris Mortimer, Brentnell, the dummy, on the ground. Mortimer falls on it, last tackle. Steve Mortimer, up she goes. Johnson under pressure, they're streaming through on him. He's knocked out of the way, that should be a penalty to St George, that should be a penalty to St George, I repeat. And there's a dicey try in my view to Canterbury. Say it again, if Johnson, the fullback's not knocked out of the way, I'm a bad judge. 5-2 Canterbury. Kick off, St George now. Cutler in possession. Big crowd here at Jubilee Oval. Long pass out to Gearan. He likes to run. The kick ahead, he might find open space. He can keep this in. Picked it up beautifully. No support, and a beautiful tackle from Finch puts him down. This is developing into a good game of rugby league. Exciting stuff. Canterbury now on the move. Oh, Graham Hughes has gone with... On the quarter line. Mark Hughes, Gary Hughes, Robinson. Lobs a pass over the top. Brentnell did marvellously well to take that. The juggler. Robinson, Folkes. About 20 metres out now. Paponis, Coveney, met head on. Goes through the wind tackle, but 2 others pick him off. Last tackle. Steve Mortimer. Up she goes again. That one a bit further, but it's still pressure. Oh, he's been knocked out of the way again. And offside on this occasion, and referee Hartley has got the Canterbury player for bowling him over. If it had been awarded, St George is suddenly staring down the barrel of a 10-0 deficit. So good refereeing on that occasion to Greg Hartley. Robert Finch. Competent player who will do well on any position. out of his normal centre role.
Yes, hasn't played all that many games at 5'8", only this year with St George earlier in the season. Apart from that, mostly a centre, but as you say, very competent anywhere in the back line.
I jokingly said to him in the dressing room, Barry, continuing the tradition of short, nuggety 5'8". So I said, you look just a wee bit like Pop Clay.
Yes, he was joking too with Steve Morrison. Said, I hope that Slippy doesn't throw me any hospitals, meaning any suicide passes.
Buckley. Beautiful break. Play now about 10 metres outside the Canterbury quarter, and some of the Canterbury players a little bit slow to get back on side. Morris. Finch. Lobs a beautiful pass out there to Wynn. Wynn's on the boil. Unloads well to Johnson, the fullback, and a top line tackle there from Stevie Mortimer. Puts him away. And the about 11 metres out. Ready. Dowling. Pass on the ground again. They go back for it. It's still there on the ground. I don't know who's got this. Yeah, Wynn's come up with it. Stone. 11 metres out again. Canterbury's turn to take the pressure. Ready, back inside the Dowling. Dowling to Buckley. Buckley sights an opening, accelerates, the gap closes. 5-2, Canterbury lead, but they're under pressure. Morris, that acceleration. He stepped out of half a tackle. Last tackle. The crowd go down. Penalty. And 2 goals. 2 St George, 2 goals. It's a pretty shonky looking scrum. It's on half play. Dowling up from the broad of his back. One would have thought there could have been a penalty for that. St George, Morris. Finch. Nice pass out there to Johnson. Split the gap. He can go on with this. He's got some pace. Cutler comes at him. Oh, Cutler's missed him. Pointless. That's a terrible bit of defence by Stan Cutler.
Cutler appeared as if he wanted to throw him over the sideline rather than make the tackle.
What he meant to do and what he did were 2 totally different things. That, for a first-grade footballer, was an appalling miss. Stan Cutler's a talented player, but my heavens, his coach will have something. St George scrum win. Brian Johnson comes in, the fullback, but he runs straight into Chris Mortimer. There's Graham Wynn, and Graham Hughes is right underneath his body, and that was not dropped, surely. I think Graham Wynn was a bit lucky about that one. Craig Young. Robert Stone. A little fence up too quickly to move. Craig Young. Oh, straight through the middle goes Michael Sarademi, and it took a top tackle from Steve Mortimer to pick that one off. That could have been very dangerous. Steve Morris. Dowling. Finch has the ball knocked out of his hands. It's to Canterbury. There's the George Papana scrum statistic. The referee wants that again. And Canterbury come up with that one. Gary Hughes kicks straight downfield. There's no fullback at home. There's a Canterbury player being bowled over. They found the gap. The fullback Johnson was standing up with the rest of his team. Graham comes away with a long run up over the quarter line. Unloaded well. No, the pass has gone behind. Picked up by Craig Young, who got into his stride remarkably quickly for a big fella. And they put play back to within 10 metres of the halfway. There's another terrible pass. Michael Sarademi picks it up.
Interesting statistic to come out of the Canterbury dressing room at half-time was the tackle count of Steve Folkes.
Oh, well, now that's got to be a penalty. Craig Young using the knees, jumping into the defender. That's something I've never seen him do before. Morris to feed. There's a loose arm, if ever I've seen one. Have a good look at it. He still won the scrum. to Dowling. Johnson. Or Buckley, I'm sorry, not Johnson. Out to Craig Young. Stone. That's a good prop forwards roll, straight and hard, sucking the defence to him. Craig Young. Ready. Could finally get his pass away. Yes, he did, to Buckley. Ready. Finch. Beautiful pass out there to Shane McKellar. The pass has gone nicely. Oh, it's been tossed infield. Robinson has it. That's probably saved him from a try. That was a moment of truth. Canterbury look just a little bit flattened at the moment, as if some of their players are feeling the wear and tear. All on a bunch behind the ruck. Coveney. Just outside the quarter now. Little Mortimer's kick. He'll get the bounce. He's done it. He's busted into the clear. Lovely pass to Graham Hughes. Away to Gary Hughes. He's in for the try. That's classic football. What a quality bit of play. Oh, yeah. And Gary Hughes had a bit of a moment of anguish there. That back with that lack of attention.
Sitting beside Jeff Robinson here in the Canterbury camp, Rex, and we may get a quick word with him.
Yeah, take it away.
Jeff, what's the reason for you leaving the field?
I've got a badly corked thigh.
And what about next week? Probably too early to tell yet about the game next week?
It's a bit early until find out tomorrow when I get some ice on it today and tonight.
Well, there's Jeff Robinson, who's put in some Trojan service for Canterbury today. Now, Graham Hughes. Steve Mortimer running from dummy half. Back to Graham Hughes. Hughes going forward, looking good. Very good ball runner. Mark Hughes, Paponis. Gary Hughes, the dummy right through the gap. He's got Cutler on the outside. Cutler will go on with this and score. Yes! No touch judge flags. That's a fair try. Gary Hughes. Well, bless my soul. I'm not suggesting he's not a great player. I think he's got a lot of talent, but for him to be able to accelerate. Well, there's another scrum win to Canterbury. Gary Hughes playing at lock. Halfback. Well, we'll see where Steve Mortimer's gone. There's Anderson. Mortimer. Moffat. About 3 metres from the quarter line. Anderson again from dummy half. He's had a lot of trouble with his footing today. Gary Hughes. Folks, beautiful pass out to Mortimer. Mortimer gets himself right into the clear. Out to Steve Mortimer. Little man's had a blinder. Oh, a top tackle there. Top tackle from Craig Young. Stan Cutler felt the weight of that one. Gary Hughes. Mark Hughes. Chris Mortimer. On the halfway line. 15-7 Canterbury. 3.5 minutes unofficial time to go. Ryan Johnston had a fair game for St George today. Scored their try, but has done quite a few good things. Paponis, good hands to Mortimer. Moffat. Manages to unload. Out to Folks. Folks tries to go around the outside, but no way there. McCartney, number 15. Replacement for Graham Hughes. George Paponis, a dummy half. Gary Hughes, Anderson, Chris Mortimer, the dummy, back inside to Brentnell. Brentnell's pass was forward. Way forward. Guerin's got it and got into the in goal, but the ref... The Canterbury side. They won the last scrum. Mark Hughes takes what could be one of the last tackles. Gary Hughes. Bretnell. Cutler. Oh, and if he could have got the arms free and got a pass to Anderson there. There's the hooter. That's the end of the section. Canterbury come up with a fine win away, continuing their good run of form against St George at Jubilee Oval. 15 Canterbury, 7 St George.